before, what was happening is like, I can't talk. My office looks like a mess. I kind of lose the momentum of wanting to hit the record button by the time things get straightened up. I said, okay, well, let's put together the studio. I think it helps me to not only be consistent in pushing play and coming and showing up, but it takes away all the friction that typically we tend to see when wanting to create content. It's okay if you have a little curtain backdrop, like that's a real thing. And if that's what it takes to get you to continue to be consistent, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Welcome back, Bomu Bestie, to another episode of She Built Success. This episode, I'm totally excited for y'all. Okay, so have you ever felt like you just are not consistently showing up on social, whether that's LinkedIn, Instagram, whatever your platform of choice is, YouTube, and you were inconsistent because you didn't have a consistent place to actually record? Well, that's what this episode's about. This is why I built the She Built Success studio. I wanted a place to be able to just literally push a button, hit record, and then just start talking. Or have an idea, get inspired, and I can just push the button again and turn on the lights, and then we're good to go, right? That's the reason why I did this studio. Now, of course, with the level of variation I like with looks, it was not easy to find something that I could kind of borrow a template from as far as what I wanted the studio to look like. So when I was doing my research, I saw things like, I Googled things like video content studio. Then I saw like YouTube studio. But then it started going into like CNN and MSNBC type broadcasts, like the big stuff with all the more professional equipment. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't want it that big. So what I ended up doing is converting a bedroom and a spare bedroom in my house into a studio. And I was looking at different looks because I like, for my content to look different, but still have cohesiveness to it. And so the thought was, out of the 4 walls, 3 of them would be areas that content could be recorded. And so this part of the set is kind of like the couch solo, if you will, set where I can just come sit down, hit record, and start talking to you. And then off camera that you can't see, another wall is a desk where I can do my lives and I can teach and I can work a little bit. And then the third wall is a 2-person setup. So if a guest were to come on, I'm able to have the equipment mobile. And I'll talk about equipment maybe on another episode and gear and stuff, because of course the man behind She Built Success and the production zone, J. August Media, hooked me up and told me all the stuff that I needed to get in order to just continue to keep the visual consistency across the brand for She Built Success. So so there's a 2-person setup as well in the studio. Now, I say that because for me, I actually wanted to AI a lot of this, where I could just talk to my AI device and it turns lights on and it hits record. That was a bit extra. So we got it to a point where it's all going on a C-stand and I can move. And so if I want to shoot like we are right now this way, you'll see this. And if I need to flip it and go to the desk area, I could do that. And it's mobile enough where in the studio it can move around to all 3 points. And so I wanted that because there are times where, like, sometimes I'm watching other YouTube videos or listening to other podcasts, and something that the host or the guest says sparks something for me, and I'm like, oh, I want to talk. And before, what was happening is like, I can't talk. My office looks like a mess. My desk looked like a tornado went through, came back, forgot something, and came back again. And then it's like, okay, I have all the things, and then I kind of lose the momentum of wanting to hit the record button by the time things get straightened up. And so I said, okay, well, let's put together the studio. And I had different elements in the studio that I knew I wanted. Of course, I wanted the She Built Success colors, but then I wanted a variety, y'all. Like, I am the person that you would think that, one look is good enough. For me, it's like I want things to be dynamic. And so what you're seeing behind me, I intentionally chose because I want to be able to sometimes switch out the decor. Like, I have my shoes, I believe it's on this side, and then I have the silver sphere on this side, and then sometimes I might put like a purse up there, or so that gives me the ability to be flexible with the looks that come about. And then even the couch. So maybe, and I'll do a cost breakdown later, but even the couch itself, like I wanted the cream look because I wanted it to be clearly light because the background is dark and I wanted it to stand out. And it gives that, additional element of pop, if you will. And the funnier part is it's actually a cover. So this is actually like you say slip, yeah, I think it's still called a slip cover. It's like a slip cover. And I was like, okay, bet. And so I do that. And so if later I want the couch to be another color, guess what I could do? I could flip it out. And so I like that idea. So that's this. And the part for me that I think I'm the most excited about really and truly is being able to just, again, push the button and hit record and be consistent. And every episode or every piece of content that goes out is going to look the same way because there's professional cameras behind me and or I guess in front of me and there's lights and, and there's what else? All this other stuff that I'm still frankly learning in the whole production space of what that means. But it allows for that consistency and it allows me to be able to, and don't worry, J. August Media is going nowhere. They are still full-fledged behind She Built Success. So that's that's not a thing. It was just I wanted something that I could literally just step outside my office or, just step into quite literally as a studio and be able to record and have a place that is already set up. Like I don't have to move furniture because let me tell you something. When I would film in my office, and because I have multiple monitors, it would be difficult, and some monitors I can't show and others I can. It would be difficult to actually find angles that didn't show certain monitors or angles that didn't show the mess or and it was always like kind of perch this up here and then I can hit record. And it wasn't consistent. So there would be times I was just like I'm just not going to do it. Or for me, like I said, I like the ability to have different looks. So behind me, the wall is black, but then there are two other walls out of the three that are being used that are not. They're a shade of brown. And so it gives, again, that different look, and I can do different color combinations and it still looks good depending on which wall I'm sitting at or standing or what have you, right? And so I think it helps me to not only be consistent and pushing play and coming and showing up, but it takes away all the friction that typically we tend to see when wanting to create content, which is a mess or something just doesn't look right or needing to have to move furniture around. And so now I don't have to do all that. I mean, unless of course I want to change, like, one thing, I'm just going to go on a little tangent here. One thing I actually was thinking about was like, if I wanted to do themes. So if we're in like the fall, I'm not doing pumpkins. Pumpkin spice is not my jam. Y'all can keep that. I don't want it. So not that. However, if it's things like the holiday times and I want to, put some type of decor in here, I could do that and it kind of reflects on the set. Like I've been playing with that. So if you think that's kind of something cool, let me know in the comments. But just having the ability to stylize this the way I wanted to was something that I was very excited to be able to do. A lot of times we're stuck with, the decor or the design of whatever space we're renting, or if it's not at your own space, whatever space we're renting out. And so for me, being able to be intentional about the color, literally the color choice and, what went into the studio and how things are laid out, was on purpose. And so the build was, about a month and a half and we DIY'd it. But it was something that, the end result is, I think it's pretty cool. Y'all let me know what you think. So as we go on this content journey of what is now the She Built Success Studio or the content studio, I'm curious, like what would you do something like this in your own home or in a closet? Because that is a real thing too. Like you can build out a studio in a closet. Do not let scale or size deter you from going forward with actually wanting to build something of your own or create something of your own. It's okay if you have a little curtain backdrop, like that's a real thing. And if that's what it is, if that's what it takes to get you to continue to be consistent, then do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you have the space to turn a whole room into a studio, do that too. Let me know your design choices. That would be cool. We could vibe off of that. But for me, it really is just being able to be consistent with how I'm showing up on camera for content and being able to talk to you. And maybe sometimes, okay, so one of the things that I envision also, so let me just keep going on this desk side, is actually talking to you, like when we talk live. And there's all kinds of stuff, even behind the cameras, that will be available to me to be able to talk live, that I get to play with Gidget gadgets and stuff. And I'm curious just to see like how the other tech that's involved in the studio is going to play and interact when I'm live, because I haven't done that yet. So you'll see that first. But nevertheless, like I said, it just gives me that ability to show up like that and just walk through the door and push play or push record. And then we're here, right? So yeah, tell me in the comments, like, what are you doing to make sure that you're consistently showing up on social media? And when I say consistent, you pick the cadence. It doesn't have to be daily. It doesn't have to be, whatever your cadence is. I mean, the podcast itself is weekly, but there's other content that goes out. So what will be your cadence and how will you be consistent? That is your homework, Bold Boom Besties, for showing up. Until next time, I'll catch you on the next episode of She Built Success. Bye.